Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and this story is so insane that I almost refuse to want to believe it. I almost refuse to believe it, but this is just straight up insanity, and it's been getting a lot of traction, and it is in regards to one of the most notorious PC ports of all time, really, and that is Monster Hunter Wilds. This is a game that has gotten quite the negative reception for its atrocity of a PC version. I did complete the game on PC, and my experience was not great, to say the least, but definitely wasn't at the level of a lot of other people, but it was definitely not good. This is not a good PC version, and maybe my standards for these PC versions are so low that Monster Hunter Wilds, you should really actually put it in the atrocious category, but obviously, the game's got quite a lot of issues. Well, how about this Reddit post from user DE_Till my apologies if I butchered the pronunciation, on the official Monster Hunter subreddit, and this has gained a lot of traction, and it's a lengthy post, so I'll leave the entirety of it in the description box below. From what the user says, Digital Foundry has already reached out to them to inquire more about this, but the user notes, sorry in advance for this huge wall of text, but I really want people to understand how absurd this situation is, and yes, I really hope Capcom will see it too, because this is about their optimization, or whatever you want to call it, and no, this is not going to be some, like, install driver version 1.23.45 strictly at midnight. I agree. Every time we see a bad PC version, it's like the copy-paste. It's the copy-paste of, make sure you do this, make sure you're not on a GT 8800, make sure you're not on drivers from 2003. It's like, dude, everybody's got updated hardware, at least mostly everybody. Everybody's updated their driver. Nobody's playing this game on 2 gigabytes of RAM. Relax there, buddy. They always utilize that as the defense mechanism, which is so annoying. It's like, all right, dude, shut up and work on the game. Or all that disable Windows effects, increase profile, clean registry, and read a prayer 3 times. It's like, also, it's the copy-paste of doing all of these things that don't have any respect for your time. Oh, how about you uninstall and reinstall Windows? How about you go into the BIOS and do this? It's no respect for your time whatsoever. Spend 7 hours tinkering around and trying to figure out the issue, but let me get back to the post. It's not even really a guide for regular players. Hope you guys find this an interesting read. I'll try my best not to break any rules of this subreddit so I do not get ban-hammered by moderation, but at some point I will have to mention a couple technical things, so to say. I'll put that part under a spoiler. I honestly don't even know where to start. My thoughts have been mixed up for 2 days, and I can't even tell if I laugh because it's funny or because it's actually very sad. Anyway, first, a quick note. Earlier in 2024, I already helped Capcom fix one FPS issue in Dragon's Dogma 2. There was a bug with FPS drops inside one animation-related function, and I described it in detail on the Dragon's Dogma 2 Discord server. I sent all that info, profiler data, and post-reverse engineering observations for research purposes only, to a Capcom technical employee. As a result, the bug got fixed in the patch dated April 10, 24, even if they didn't mention it in the changelog for some reason. So now I came to Monster Hunter Wilds, and of course I started digging into optimization again, because constant FPS drops where they should not exist at all were driving me crazy. The funny part is, the problem was kind of fixed for me just by switching my laptop into performance mode, where the CPU runs at 3 GHz but at 5 GHz, but man, it's a bit loud. A few days of deeper analysis, profiling, observations, messing with the engine a bit, you know, for research purposes, trying to match patterns in FPS drops behavior, and so on, and then, like lightning from a clear sky, pure accident, I found the issue in the last place anyone would expect it. Okay, so this is where it gets absolutely insane. If you stop reading right here, I guarantee you'll never guess why the game performance gets so goddamn bad on mid-range CPUs and where those frame rate drops come from. Yesterday when I came back from work once again after small break to play another game and launch Monster Hunter Wilds, and 2 things instantly stood out. First, my saves were gone, and second, after I quickly ran the intro again, the FPS was perfectly fine. I restarted the game, and again, then like 10 more times. I deleted cache, both game and driver, deleted the config file, tested different different settings from minimum to maximum with DLSS and without. Everything was great. Why and how? First observation in Steam was I logged into my friend's account. I borrowed to try the game I mentioned above because it cannot be shared via family sharing. I relog into my own account, launch the game, FPS drops are back. Stable on any settings. Okay, I delete the save, replay the exact scenario one by one, run through the intro tutorial again, go to the hub, and performance is on the floor. I relog back into my friend's account and everything is fine. Nonsense. Shock. I refuse to believe what I was seeing. I think some of you already started guessing. My first thought was maybe I installed HQ textures. Nope, and I never picked the highest texture option anyway. I have 8 gigabytes of VRAM on my laptop. I am not insane. Look closer and notice that my friend, like a literal sheik, owns absolutely all of the DLC. I don't know, just can't call this cosmetic stuff DLC. Meanwhile, on my account, it's a clean base game standard edition, and I think I already did enough by thanking Capcom with the premium edition purchase on PS5. And that's when I put 2 and 2 together. Yes, you understood correctly, and if you didn't, I will say it directly. The more DLC you own, the better performance you get in-game. Why? Because Capcom focused so hard on microtransactions that they implemented an insanely crooked and aggressive DLC ownership check function, and no, it's not about protection or anti-cheat or whatever, it's just a DLC presence check. Now we get to the dangerous part, where the user mimicked essentially having a lot of DLC and things of that nature, and yes, the performance went through the roof. Go read the entirety of the post. You guys get what he's getting at. The performance went through the roof, yes, without any CPU boost in balance mode, only on settings. I don't recommend testing this in practice. What is under spoiler, and I absolutely do not promote using mods of this type in Monster Hunter Wilds. So again, in moderation, if this problem, please don't delete this post instantly. Just message me and I will remove that part. Okay, yeah, this dude is doing God's work right now. I think it's okay because he literally, or they literally, have diagnosed an issue that Capcom, I don't think, is even aware about. And think about this. The post continues on and on, but think about how insane that is. You get so into your microtransacties and your cosmetics and whatnot that you've implemented such a crazy check feature. Now, we'll ultimately see how Digital Foundry handles this, and they'll do a deeper dive, but this has to be one of the craziest stories of performance issues I've ever seen in my decade of covering bad PC ports. I was there for Batman Arkham Knight. I was there when Assassin's Creed Unity dropped. I was there, at least playing games on PC during all of that time, and this is one of the most insane stories because this is breaking a year after the game came out because it is such a weird issue, and how do you even luck into it? This user clearly just by chance lucked into it because they were gonna play another game, whatever that game was, through their friend's account, and then they booted up Monster Hunter Wilds and noticed something was a bit different, and then, you know, came to a conclusion. But this is one of the most insane stories, and Capcom has been trying to fix up Monster Hunter Wilds for a year, and then you realize that this is a major issue, and again, we'll see how ultimately this affects everybody, but this is just an absolutely insane issue, because imagine that, paying more money granted you better performance, and I don't think that's gonna be the case that Capcom was trying to do that. Oh, well, let's gimp their performance, because then you would promote that aspect and get people to spend more money for better performance, because I guarantee you there are some people that are so into Monster Hunter that would do that, but this just seems to be a left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing and things interacted poorly, and then you get bad performance. But Capcom wasn't able to find this over the course of the last year. Remember when they were gonna do like a summit to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds, and you have stuff like this going around, and then they ultimately canceled that summit? It's just, man, this is what I'm talking about when you talk about these bad PC versions. This is obviously an outlier to an extreme sense in that how ridiculous this is. Like, typically with bad PC versions, it's Unreal Engine 5 slop, and you'll have situations of games crashing left and right. You know, this is a level beyond something that I've seen in the past. And again, we'll see ultimately how this evolves, but this is one of the craziest stories I've seen as far as the reasoning for a bad PC port. But I almost, again, don't want to believe this is real, and hopefully we get more insight into it when Digital Foundry does investigate the situation. But it's just like, dude, why is it on us and not me? Like, you know, I trial and errored Spider-Man 2 back in January for like 7 hours, but, you know, in the case of Monster Hunter, I wasn't doing that kind of trial and error. Thankfully, The game was playable enough where I could get to the end and it was whatever. But why is it on the player base to play PC Tech Simulator and figure out what's wrong with these games, or Bad PC Port Fixer Simulator? Why is it on us? It is infuriating. And I will say this, it is so much more infuriating when I spend $1,500, when Buddy spends $2,000 on a computer and gets bad performance versus, yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds doesn't run great and look great on the PS5 either, but it's a $500 box. You're spending premium money, and then you're spending the most finite quantity we have on this earth in time to get these games working. No, and you're talking to somebody that talks about video games online as their day-to-day gig. Think about the people that go and work hard jobs. They're 9 to 5. They work in construction and whatever. They just want to get home and play the game, and they get Unreal Engine 5 error. Oh, 15 frames per second. And you're telling them, make sure you uninstall and reinstall Windows. Make sure your drivers are up to date. It's just, you get these terrible responses. And I'll constantly go back to the Borderlands 4 thing of them putting out the so-called optimization guide after the game came out. It's just the level of schemery with some of these bad PC versions is insanity, and a year after people dropped $70 or even more than that for the premium editions, you still have issues, and you have stuff like this being discovered. It's insane. And even if none of this is accurate or it's not applicable to everybody, it's still a case of one of the worst PC ports of all time. I know I ranked Borderlands 4 higher and Spider-Man 2 higher in terms of 2025's worst PC ports, in my opinion and my experience, but Monster Hunter Wilds is obviously one of the worst of all time as well. But that'll do it for me. What an insane story, but let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and hopefully we'll get more insight into this in the very near future. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.